Welcome. My name is Jennifer Dwan. I am a science teacher at Ohio High Point Career Center, and I'd like to show you some of the tools I use in my classroom. You can see that we are a Google-based school. We also have a one-to-one program, so every student receives a laptop at the beginning of the school year for them to use during their 2 years that they are with us. First thing we try to teach them to do is to use Google Drive. We use that to submit a lot of things. Like here's a PowerPoint I had students do. They were assigned several questions about the respiratory system to answer, and also they were responsible for presenting this information to their peers. So this group chose to do a PowerPoint, and I had them share it with me on Google Drive so that I could put it up on my computer and put it up on the screen via the projector. So that's one way that we use Google Drive. It's a good way for students to collaborate when they're doing group projects, and they can work all on the same piece at once. A lot of them think it's funny to have somebody else start typing on the screen while they are typing. So it's just getting them used to the collaborative web-based environment. So we are a Google-based school. And in order to get into the learning management system that we have called Schoology, students use their Google emails to log in. So this is Schoology that we use to manage assignments and organize class materials. It does have a gradebook feature, but we as a district use Progress Book for official grade keeping, so that function is not fully integrated with Schoology just yet. So I still have to transfer grades from one end to the other. I would say I probably do about 50-50 of assignments on Schoology and then activities that we do live in class. Teaching anatomy is somewhat difficult to do completely online. It helps for students to be able to point to the actual parts on their own bodies or on a life-size figure, rather than just looking at a computer screen. But I do use Schoology to organize materials and try to get information to students who may have missed class that day or just need to review the material more at home. So let me show you second period. You see, I teach mostly anatomy during the day. You can organize all of your classroom materials into different folders, and there are several different things that you can do. You can add an assignment, so that is basically the same as a Dropbox. You can put information about the assignment into that, and then students can actually upload their completed assignments to that box. So let me show you this one here. I had students come up with a metaphor for all of the different body systems to help them practice what the systems are and what they do. So let me show you one here. It's nice to have a browser for all the different file types, all in one place, so I don't have to open PowerPoint and Word and Google Docs all at the same time. There are some files that don't play as well with the system, but for the most part I can view them all within Schoology. I also have the option of downloading if I need to get that onto a flash drive or something else. So this is one assignment that I had them do. Just thinking about the different systems of the body and what their function is, and then comparing that to something else in real life. You can also, let me go back to the folder. You can also add tests and quizzes. A lot of times I use these not as graded assessments, but as ways for them to, if I have a reading, for example, I'll click on this one here. If there is something that they need to read, and I can add links to them, and then they can answer questions about that reading. So it's a good way to collect a lot of, okay, get rid of this. It's a good way to collect assignments very quickly, and get them all together in the same place. And then you can also do traditional tests and quizzes. More traditional tests and quizzes can also be made using that feature as well. Schoology is very good for adding files or links. So if I show a video in class, I can post the link in one place and copy it to all of my classes, and they can have that and watch that from home. I don't know if this is going to load or not. But they can review something that we watch in class again later at home. So that is one way to share a lot of resources very quickly. Another feature on Schoology is the discussion, which I think I've got one. Go back to here. So there's a discussion feature, like I said, that is not graded. Everybody can post their answers down here, but it's a little bit clunky, I think, for spur of the moment, very quick discussion. So for those, I prefer to use a tool called Get-It. And that's a little bit more lively and interactive. So let's say I can make ahead of time. Oops, let's go away, Google Drive. I can put questions up ahead of time, and I can also do a quick question and just say something aloud in class, a question, and give them choices A, B, C, and D, true and false, or a short answer. And once I unleash that, they can all type their responses right away, and I can see from my screen who's responding and what they are saying. So let me pull out a question that we already did. I have the option of sharing answers so that everybody can see those and we can talk about particular answers, one or the other. The students can access Get-It through their mobile devices or through their laptops, and they don't see obviously all of the other answers that the other students have. But it's very flexible. They don't have to download any apps, which is a good plus. They just type in letsgetit.com, sign in using their Google sign-in, and each class has a PIN number, or each lesson rather, has a PIN number that they can use to access that lesson. The colors on here are also, those are for students. They can check in at any given time, and the color indicates their confidence level with the topic that we're discussing. So once I end the lesson, I can see right away, okay, this might be something we need to spend a little more time on because at least half of these students are in the lower range of confidence. And it also tells me exactly who those students are, so I can follow up with them individually or in small groups later on. So Get-It is very powerful. Another very powerful real-time interaction tool is something called ClassDojo. It's kind of a quirky program, but it can actually do a lot for the classroom. What it is, it's a classroom management or behavior management website. It does come as an app for Android or iPhone, so I have it on my phone. I actually just got a tablet for Christmas, and I'm looking forward to putting this onto the tablet because it'll make things a little bit easier to see. So what ClassDojo is a real-time feedback system. It saves the teacher from having to necessarily call out a student individually right away and in public. Instead, they can send a private signal if the student is signed into ClassDojo. Sometimes even just the audible signal is enough to prompt a change in behavior. So let me add some students to the demo class. So let's add Albert Einstein, Marie Curie, Isaac Newton, William Harvey, since I teach anatomy this year, Craig Venter, he's pretty cool, Andrew Fire, Rosie Franklin, she's one of my heroes. I have a really great class this year. So I would add the students, and I can also customize the positive behaviors and negative behaviors that I give students feedback on. So typically I add game winners, so if students win a game, a review game, they can get a point for that. If I catch them helping their classmates understand something, I can award points for that. I can give them points for being on task, participating, working hard. I could do one, let's see, for perfect attendance. And I would say that would be perfect attendance for the month. Or I can do perfect quiz score, etc. I can also add the behaviors that maybe need some work. I typically have to have misusing equipment. Students tend to enjoy mildly abusing the anatomy models that I have. Off task, talking out of turn, unprepared, tardy, I could say late to class, etc. ClassDojo can automatically invite parents by email, or I can print parent invitations out and send those home with students. I can also connect with other teachers in our school. So let me go back here and refresh this. All right, so there are my 7 very genius students. And what I can do for the day is I can take attendance through this, and I've been doing that through the app on my phone. So let's say Andrew is not here today, and Marie Curie was late, and so was William Harvey. And I can save that attendance, and then it will sort of gray out Andrew so that I don't accidentally give him feedback for today. From the app, let's say Albert Einstein is working very hard and I can give him a point. It makes a little booping noise that is different from the noise that it makes when, say, Isaac Newton is off task. It makes a little sad noise. And again, if students are logged into their own ClassDojo, they can see their own points rising and falling. So it's a very powerful real-time feedback on what they should or should not be doing, but it can be completely anonymous. So I assign different rewards that students can buy with their ClassDojo points. I know other teachers, if the class has a particular average by the end of the quarter, they get a certain reward for that. So it's just kind of a fun way. I introduce it to students as sort of the Harry Potter system for the 21st century, allowing them to earn points for things that they are doing in class. The last tool that I want to show you is a electronic whiteboard called Stoodle. So in my first year, I got a little bit spoiled because I had a smartboard in my classroom and I could do all sorts of interactive drawing and notes and all of these things that I could do on the smartboard that I now no longer have as much access to. But Stoodle kind of helps fill that gap. It is a electronic whiteboard, and what I did was I plugged in a drawing tablet to my laptop, which is connected to the projector, and then I have the ability to use a pen tool in order to draw and label. So it's very easy. There's no sign up or account involved. Just type your name in. There I am. Here we go. And I can make a lot of different things on here. I can draw very carefully. So here's a long bone. I can do different colors, labeling different parts. And I could say, okay, there you go. There's red marrow in the ends here, and yellow marrow in the midsection. I can type, so I can label the ends, the epiphyses. I can draw lines to indicate what those are. There's the epiphyses. There's the diaphysis. So that's one way that I can use it. The other tool that's very handy is the ability to add images. Select the image that I want to load, drop it in here, and there it is on the screen. Now normally I would typically have it a little bit bigger, but then I can label the different parts. I can also write in the names. My students tend to make fun of me because my writing gets very messy. Yep, there it goes. Tends to get a little hairy when I'm using the pen. Tablet doesn't like that. So I'm excited to see whether the Android tablet will work any better. This is why I usually use the typing font. But I can color the different cavities or different parts and just color code them, and they can see that very easily when they go back and review their notes. So I would print out this diagram for them, give them colored pencils and crayons, and let them copy the notes that way. So just using the advantage of doing it this way rather than just on the dry erase board is that I can take a screenshot. It shows up in my Dropbox. There it is. I go to Schoology, find out that, oh, I had a student who wasn't there. I can instantly add a file. Actually, let me add these to the Skeletal System notes. I can add these. Right away. And it's all on there for anybody who needs to look at it again or who missed class that day. So it's all very easy to keep everything digital in one location. So these are just some of the tools that I use on a day-to-day basis that I've incorporated into my classroom teaching. If you check out my blog, smileandsayscience.wordpress.com, you will see some of the other materials that I've developed over the years in lots of different fields, from K-12 education to real estate to content marketing. So I look forward to discussing the possibilities of e-learning with you in person, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.